G'day, mate, and welcome back to Factorio with me, JD. Okay, so with our power outages last episode, we're processing and making solid fuel, and a good portion of that's actually disappearing into power, and then what's left is sort of feeding the furnaces. So we have that problem that we've sorted. We've had the main bus has been upgraded. And I'm actually going to, now we've got it upgraded mostly, I'm going to upgrade the rest because we can. So there's another 1,000 belts that the bots need to deal with. Plastic, we still need to improve, and I haven't got around to doing because we've literally had everything else go wrong. So we're going to get plastic done as well. It's going to be a busy episode. Doing lots of things. Okay, so plastic can go there. There to start with. I'm going to chop off that excess, and then I'm going to put it there for even more plastic. Okay, so we've got that much done. I need to get petroleum into this pipe. I don't see many good options. I didn't exactly leave myself all the room in the world to do some of this stuff. That works. Yep, that works. Okay, so that's going to happen. Meanwhile, we can have the bots rip up this because we no longer need it. Yep. And that bit of pipe, 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 it turns out. I'll put a straight pipe in there so it's actually hooked up. Our coal belt, which we did need to slide up a tile, can technically go back to right where it was. We're going to bring that down. We're going to upgrade planner again. That crap into all that crap. Put that there. We want a plastic out belt. Needs to get hooked up here. Yeah. Again, bots, deconstruct that, upgrade that crap. Because we're going to go to red belt. We're going to go to red belt for our, for both our, no. We're going to go to red belt for our coal in and our plastic out. We're going to be short a number of these things, probably. It says we're short 18, along with being short of blue belt stuff, which I'm really mad about because it means I should have used a normal upgrade planner. We're still short somewhere. They'll sort it out shortly. Okay. Our biggest problem is I set the robots off in the wrong order. I really should have told them to do this first, that second. Upgrade everything else second. Problem is they've all taken off, and they're probably, yeah, they've already got all the orders to do all the things. Okay, so we needed some of these. I need steel, which is conveniently right here. Just going to handcraft a few of these, preferably without handcrafting the belts. Throw that in there. Okay, so this will fix. Oh, this is where it is. It's you lot. Do not upgrade to blue belt. I don't have blue belt. But do by all means upgrade the power poles. Awesome. Okay. So that's that problem sorted. One problem at a time. So I'll give us more plastic. The other problem we've had with us killing the power is I really need to look at solar. Because solar is, it's a higher cost, it's a higher upfront cost power unit, but it gives you free power from there forth. So we need to look at solar and accumulators. So solar panels only charge during the day, and they have a maximum power output of 60 kilowatts. The accumulators, the idea is they're big batteries. They'll store up the power during the daytime and then release it at night. So that's the other thing we need, which means I want all of that crap to go away. Which again is more robots doing more things. Okay. I just realized I made a mistake here because that'll never get onto that belt. Later problem. Okay. So we want a solar panel. Again, it's a fairly easy recipe. It's copper, it's steel, it's green circuits. Lots and lots of green circuits. We'll get used to not having any green circuits eventually. So we can put copper and steel on one belt. Have the green circuits on their own dedicated belt, because we need a lot of them. And then have our output even... have our output on a its own dedicated belt, which is logical, and I don't even know why I'm saying it out loud. We're going to set you up to be auto-trashed. I do not want wooden power poles anymore, because if I've got them, I'll tend to use them. And that gives us crap later we need to deal with. Alright. So we need a copper, which is this belt here. I'm going to offset it by 1. Because this will be our underground down. And the steel's obviously going to come in on this side. So I need to have a steel... yeah. Let's line this up. Steel from there to there. Okay, so we want steel, steel. I've got to remember to actually set these now as we go, because we've done a lot of work tidying up the bus, so I don't really want to break it by being lazy at this point. Left. That one, that one, that one, that one. Okay, so we've done that. We want green circuits, which is this one here, and I want to just jump you out of the way and you out of the way as well. We'll just bring that straight down to here. Okay, so that's our, no, we need an output belt. Actually, we can run the belt this way for a change, because we don't need to take this resource back to the bus, because right at the end of wherever this build's going to go to, I'm going to put a passive provider chest and have the bots pick it up. That way I can place down solar without having to actually run out and place down solar. Now, these things take 10 seconds a piece to craft, and being that your power is in the megawatts, you need a few of them. So putting down a build like this is not at all unrealistic. Did that break everything? Yes. Okay, we'll paste that down, we'll paste that down, and then I'll put a roboport back in there. Okay. I want to turn off my personal robots because I'm sick of them using up my power. So I'll have the base bots build this. And the only thing I'm going to do is right at the end, I'm going to put down a single inserter to shove everything into a chest. Okay, so that'll make solar panels when the bots come and build it. The other thing I really need to build, and again we'll do this in threes, is accumulators. Now our solar panels took 10 seconds, our accumulators take 10 seconds. A perfect ratio, and it is a perfect ratio. I might go find a blueprint to give us a good ratio of solar. But a perfect ratio is, for every solar panel you need 0.84 or 0.86 accumulators. Having a few too many is not a bad thing, but having way too many obviously is a bad thing. It's only 2 materials, so we might as well have them share a belt. It's not super high throughput because they just take so long to craft. So if we set up power like that, we need batteries, which are right there. So I'm going to do this in reverse. I'm going to have batteries and iron come into this belt. And therefore I want my iron to come out here. Put that down. Left. Copy, paste. Run that down to there. We wanted you out there. Nope, I need one more tile. That's it. So we're going to bring that down, join that in there, and voila. And that's all built backward. It's fine. Now I can copy and paste and just go plop, plop, plop. That power's in the way, but we don't. No, we do need it to run out to there. Okay, I was going to say we don't need it anymore. Turns out we do. If I move that, then we don't need it. Okay, and paste that one back in along with the last one. Get rid of the excess belts we don't need. And another chest. Now these ones I'm not going to cap. There is no point to capping these. I actually want them to run as fast as possible. I really, really do want these chests to essentially, if they can, fill up. Because it's not going to hurt us at all if they fill up. It is a lot of materials. But the idea with solar is you will use it. You really, really, really will use it eventually. As you can see, even though we're bringing in a whole red belt's worth, those green circuits are not necessarily going to make it to the end. No, they're making it to the end. You just got to wait for them to pick up their original buffer. Because as you can see, this guy up here's got 31 in him. So everybody down the line is going to try and have 31 in their inventory. And then they're going to try and use 15 to make a solar panel. And then trying to pick up another 15. Because assembly machines have twice the materials they require for a craft in their inventory. We're going to trash that, we're going to trash that, and I'm going to trash that. Okay, so accumulators are being built as well. We got solar panels. And the other thing that we don't have, that I have done the research for, but I haven't bothered actually building yet. No, we're just going to ignore research for 5 more seconds. I want to run to our make almost everything. Trees, go away. Alright, so plastic's built, plastic's up and running. Make almost, here we go, make almost everything. So the only other thing that I haven't built yet is a substation. So our power poles, we've got 4 different types. We've got a standard small power pole, which we've been using forever, which has a supply area of 5 by 5. We've then got the bigger medium power pole, which we've just we've upgraded to for a while now, which has a 7 by 7 with a longer wire reach. So we go from 7.5 up to a wire reach of 9. For the big electric pole, that has a supply area of 4 by 4. So we've seen the supply area for the big power pole is really, really small and really, really useless. But its advantage is it has the wire reach of 30. We also have a substation, which has a supply area of 18 by 18 with a wire reach of 18. These are very, very effective if you need to power up large amounts of stuff at once. An example being like the make everything. I could put one substation in here and get rid of a bunch of power poles. But they really come into their own when we're talking about building solar plants. So I need to update the make everything to bring copper down. I need copper. I need red circuits. And I need steel from memory. Okay, so you're going to make substations. We can give you a long-handed inserter to get hold of your red circuits. We can bring the copper in there. And then steel is also all the way back here. And for ease, I'm literally going to put in a splitter, bring it to there, and pop that there. And then same story, we're going to want a passive provider chest because I don't want to have to deal with picking up this crap. I'd much prefer if the robots did. Again, we can see we're not feeding it at full speed. We really don't need to. We just need to be able to feed it and then have the robots physically put these down when we want them down. So I have some substations which are going to be great for a solar field. We're going to go grab some solar panels next. That's red belt, red belt. It looks like there's some yellow belt. Let's just upgrade the whole thing to red. So 12 turrets are engaging the enemy. Yeah, we're not doing crash hot at that corner. Okay. I want a stack of those and a stack of those. And we're out of batteries, I imagine. Yeah, our battery production is a little bit poor. Again, it needs a good look. Okay, so for a solar field, we're going to start off with a substation right there in the middle. And I'm going to put another one over here so I can sort of gauge how far these things are away apart from one another. And then we're going to lay in... No, where does your power end? Your power ends there. You're sticking over one tile, you're sticking over one tile. Okay, so that was 13 of them. So 13 and 13 is 26, and 13 again is 39. I'm making this up on the fly. So if we've got 39 of them and we multiply it by 0.8, I think it's 86. It means we need 33 accumulators. And if I'm really lucky, 17. So I need another row like that. We'll paste that down without the two substations. Oh, that's the space bar. Do not hold a rocket in your hand. That leads to bad things. Even worse when you get nukes. Okay. That's 34. So that can then become a possible blueprint. So I put down the solar, and then, no, because that's still too many. We could do like that. Come on, put the power pole back down. It's annoying that it's flashing at me. How's that? That's 13 and 18. No, so we probably, if we put in another row like that, maybe we're getting close. Okay, so that is 65 and 52. So if I take a 65, multiply it by 0.86 is 55. How many did I say I had? 52. Okay, hang on. 65 multiplied by 0.82 in case the ratio is 82. Still means that I have I need 53 and I've got 52. It's not a perfect ratio, but it's close. And it means I can then paste that down. But if I do an overlap on the sides, which will have slightly less solar panels, that should slightly improve our ratio. Now the one thing I haven't done is, as you can see, these guys are currently, power network wise, they're not running anything. They're just hooked up to themselves. So I need to either pop in a substation to hook it up to the main network, or I could pop in a large power pole and hook them up to a large power pole. But this is a start. It's a start of a blueprint. It doesn't have to be perfect. There are a lot better ones out there on the internet. I do recommend you look at ratios. I do recommend you try and build one yourself. It is... See, I've just realised that doesn't actually power with the row above. I'm more than 18 tiles away from there to there. Yeah, so it's not ideal. Can I put those back in there? Ideally, a really good blueprint will actually include roboports. I could do that right here. I could take out a couple of solar panels and pop a roboport right here in the middle. And then I've got to make sure this roboport can reach the next roboport. And so the whole lot can be self-built. That's something that's probably not a bad idea to do. I'm just going to try and see whether I can really quickly find Factorio. Nope. No, I cannot lay my hands on a solar build, one of my solar builds, off the top of my head. And of course, I have no blueprints in my inventory, and that oil pump's been doing nothing for a long time. Yeah, we're taking damage on the south wall. So we'll just beef things up slightly with a few more lasers, and hopefully that fixes the problem. Okay, so step 1, build some solar panels. Done. Step 2, get a better blueprint. I don't have it yet, but definitely get a better blueprint so we can paste them down in larger masses quickly and easily. Step 3 is obviously go look at our battery production, because what we have currently is, to be honest, pitiful. Okay, so batteries are fairly easy. It's just iron and copper. And in fact, there is nothing wrong with this build apart from it's just too small. It's just way too small. So, now I've cleared out all the biters here, and we have a good amount of area to work with. If I deconstruct all that crap, we can bring up this blueprint and go, you know what, if I place one there, and one there, and one there, and if I just keep going like this, down, through the cliffs, because we have the power of cliff explosives, they get rid of cliffs pretty well. We can then take this belt into here. We can even leave what little production we already have right there. Take this in here, and all we need to do is add those pipes. And when the bots get around to doing stuff, because that's really the point we're at, waiting for bots to do things. That's a fail. When the bots get around to actually building it, it'll be upgraded, fully up and running. Oh, there's no power on this side, really? They were powered up externally. Once the bots get around to actually building it, it'll power up, start running, produces heaps more batteries than what we're currently making. And the only thing we need is 7, 8, 9. I don't know. But yeah, this is where I'm going to end this episode. It's a little bit, it feels a little bit shorter at least. I've looked at the time and it's not. It just feels a little bit shorter. We didn't get as much done as I'd really like to get done. And actually something I think about it, I'm going to automate radars because they're still not automated. Which is one hell of a mistake. We're going to put those rockets in that machine so they're also recycled. So yeah, I'm going to call it an end of this episode. We at least have plastic upgraded, which means we can start looking at some of the bigger stuff for yellow sonnets. One of the things I really want to get now, next episode, is probably the low density structures. I'd really like some low density structures so we can start upgrading power armors, etc. So yeah, that's one thing on our list, along with a bunch of other little things. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. As always, do hope you're enjoying this little tutorial series, whilst I really quickly build a radar. There. And you get there. Yep, you've got everything. And capsule chest. Done. Okay, I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. All right, bye.